everyone, Jamie Craddock here. In this video today, we're going to talk about the top questions you should be asking your real estate agent when you're interviewing them. One of the questions you might want to ask is what % of their business is listings versus, helping sellers versus helping buyers. This can be important because you want to identify if the agent is primarily a listing agent or a buyer's agent. And knowing this can be helpful because you want somebody actually that works with both, so they have a really good feel for how working with the seller is going to be and how working with the buyer is going to be. You want to ask them how many listings they currently have on the market. Another question, how many homes have you sold in the last year? You also want to know how many of their listings did not sell. Maybe they were overpriced, maybe they expired. You want to inquire on that because in this market everything is pretty much selling, so that is a red flag if they have a lot of unsold listings. What is your average list sales price for the homes you sold? So I know I keep track of my stats, and my average list to final sales price is 98%. So you do want to get an idea if an agent's overpricing their properties or really helping getting the pricing down the first time. That matters because if you overprice a property, you're going to sit on the market a long time and you're going to eventually sell for a lot less than you could be selling for if you just come out with the right price. Have you recently sold a home in our community or area? Now, this is important sometimes just because you want to know your agent knows your area, and if they haven't sold in that community area, it can still be okay if you have the right agent, as long as they're telling you the right things. They want to know where the bus stops are, they want to know where all the commuting things are, they want to know what schools are here, what's your favorite restaurant, and they're really learning about the area, then you can trust that they're going to be a good agent and be diligent and researching everything. Another thing that's really important about agents being familiar with your community or area is also knowing what types of things are being developed around your potential new home site. I had a client that came to me and she had an agent before, and they were going down the path. They were actually ratified on a contract, pursuing to closing, and they found out that they were very close to an old landfill area. So they immediately got out of that contract and realized their agent had no idea about the area or anything going on. But it's just a little lesson and things I hear from my clients going, wow, people really need to know what's around them. They're not just trying to put them in a place to make a sale. Another great question is asking if your agent is going to take professional photography. What kind of photos and marketing are they going to provide? There are a lot of agents out there that are taking photos to sell your house with their iPhone. Now granted, iPhone has a great camera now, but it's not going to compare or compete with professional photography. And having somebody out, I'm paying, like for me, I pay another company to come out and do all of my marketing because that is what they specialize in. So you want to make sure you're getting good quality of photos. You don't want to have photos where your toilet seats are up either. What websites will my house be shown on besides the typical realtor.com? Well, I know that I syndicate. If you list with me, your house will go on over like 800 websites. It's syndicated through our MLS, through to Zillow, Realtor.com, Trulia, Movoto, every single place that you can imagine your house is going to pop up. Okay, and then you want to ask your agent, what is their real estate marketing strategy? Do they have a plan? Are they just going to put a sign in the yard and throw your house in the MLS, throw a couple cheap photos in there, and then pray? Believe it or not, that's probably 75% of the agents out there, that's their plan. So you want to find someone that's actually has volume, that's selling, because they're not looking at you like a number. They're going to be in the capacity to help you and actually be someone that pays for marketing and actually invest in their business. And that's the type of agent that you're going to want to list your house with. Okay, and then do you use social media marketing for your listings? Aside from just the typical, sending out flyers and maybe some postcards, what other type of marketing are you doing? Are your agent just putting a post on their personal their Facebook page? Or are they actually boosting it and paying money and really trying to target where the buyers are? So you just want to know how much effort and thought have they put into their social media marketing strategy. What is your communication and feedback strategy? And this can be important to all the clients, especially the clients with young kids, pets, or maybe an elderly member, or maybe somebody with a disability, or somebody that actually needs some type of extra special accommodation when a showing request comes up. So you want to make sure that you have a plan to communicate that works for everybody, that works for your clients and everybody. So another question that you might want to ask your agent is, given our home's location and condition, what is the best price you believe you can get for my house? The agent and you should should sit down with you and go over all of the data and information and show you why your home should be priced a certain way. If an agent is telling you, just comes in and throws a high number out there and it just sounds too good to be true, it probably is. A lot of agents will come in and try to overprice a house just to get a listing. And this is how they get business. And this hurts a lot of people out there. So just as long as you know what to look for, you know to ask the right questions. What challenges do you foresee in selling my home, and should I make any improvements prior to listing? This is something you definitely need to ask your agent, and if they tell you none, then you should probably double check your agent, because I have not been into one property that there wasn't something that we had suggested to be done, whether it was moving a piece of furniture, placing something in a strategic place in the house, or just depersonalizing, removing photos. There's always something to be done. You want to know if your agent is a full-time or part-time agent. There's a lot of agents out there right now that have part-time jobs, and I see it in my industry all the time. They're not able to service their clients. I think if you're not a full-time agent with your phone ready to answer calls and texts till crazy hours at night, then maybe you should find someone who is, because I'm sure you don't want to be missing out on a lot of phone calls and leads that need to be responded to immediately. Another question you might want to ask, kind of going back to the point I said about the improvements, is will you help stage my house or hire a stager, and who pays for that? This is another question you should ask your agent. I have a full-time stager on staff, and I provide a full consultation. She comes out for like 2 hours. She'll go through the entire house, provide you a written report with every recommendation of everything to do. So just ask if your agent provides something similar to that. Okay, will you host open houses for buyers, brokers, and or other agents? That's something you want to know. What is the plan right now? Things have changed a little bit with COVID. There's still brokers opens happening, and there still are open houses. So I think that's something you need to have a conversation with your agent to see what their plan is, because there's, every situation is going to be a little different. You might want to ask back on the communication, you might want to ask your agent, how often are we going to communicate, and how are we going to communicate? I have clients that like to be emailed. I have clients that like to be texted. I have clients that like to be on a group text. I have clients that only take phone calls. So I always try to ask what works best for somebody, so I can make sure to be contacting them the way they want to be contacted. You want to ask your agent, what will my closing cost be, and how much am I going to walk away with? Your agent should be able and competent to help you do an estimated closing cost net sheet to show you roughly what your numbers are going to look like at settlement. What will you want me to sign? So once you decide to hire me as your agent, I will send you, or I can come over to your house if you need me to come in person, or I can send you a listing agreement with a contract paperwork electronically via DocuSign. It's very simple. And again, if you prefer to meet in person at my office or your home, that's completely fine. We can, answer any questions you have as we go through the contract. You want to ask your agent if they have any references available. Are there any other clients? Are there testimonials online they can see? Are there clients that would be willing to talk good about them on their behalf? That you want to ask your agent, can you walk me through the home selling process and outline exactly what I should expect? So this is something I take pride in with my first-time home buyers. I love to sit down and meet with them for about an hour and literally explain from A to Z the entire process and what to expect. And this always helps people overcome a lot of anxiety, and they understand it's not such a big deal, and I can kind of have all my questions answered, or know how much am I going to be paying for home inspections, radon inspection, do I have a well inspection, what are these costs going to be, what am I out of pocket, will I lose my earnest money deposit? I mean, people have a lot of questions, so you want to sit down and make sure we answer those first, because then when we go out to look for a house, it's a lot of fun. The stress is kind of, in the background. You should ask your agent, why should I hire you? I can tell you right now, if you should hire me, because I'm going to help you get the most money for the sale of your home, and I'm going to make the process the least stressful of any other agent out there, and hold your hand through the entire process, and it will be a good experience, not stressful. So I've kind of made this easy for you. I've made a guide with a bunch of questions, so you can download the guide today and you can use this. I hope I'll be one of the agents that you call to interview, but please use this information. I hope it helps. Please make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and be on the lookout for some more tips.